Hello, everybody. Ron Cootie here, and today is November 7th, and it's the day before the big midterm election. I'm excited about the election. Hope you are too. And I hope all of you turn out and place a vote in favor of America and its future. That being said, that leads into the content of this video. What I want to do is make you guys aware of keeping an eye out for shenanigans in three particular states. One, Arizona. Two, Pennsylvania. Three, Florida. There's some other states you want to keep an eye on as well, but those are the three main ones, okay? There looks like there's going to be some shenanigans done by that party that starts with a D, which I refuse to use their name. Here's what I'm saying. They are going to try to use some tactics that they've used many times over the years. Latest in the 2020 election, yes, it was stolen. I don't care what they have to say. I'll make another video about the content or make a video about that. But the bottom line is that they're going to try and do the same things. You say, well, how do you know? Well, over the past week, they've been putting out the narrative and putting people they interview on the spot and already accusing the extreme right, as they call it, of being election deniers, and that they're not going to honor the results of the midterm election. Okay, and that is their narrative. When you hear that, they're setting that up, not only trying to confuse the populace, but also to set the narrative in the populace mind that somebody's going to question the results and the legitimacy of those results, and it's going to be these crazy people on the right. So they got out ahead of the election, got out ahead of the Republicans in saying, hey, these guys are going to deny the results. They're going to come out on after the election, and that is going to challenge our election process in the future. It's going to undermine its legitimacy. It's going to undermine its this whole process that we treasure in our country in the future. Don't let these election deniers do that to our country. That's what they have been doing over the last week, okay? The reason they do that is because they're setting up the mindset of Americans prior to the election, because they already have the plans in place to try and pull some shenanigans. Again, watch Arizona, watch Florida, watch Pennsylvania. Some of the other ones you want to keep an eye on is going to be Nevada, New Hampshire, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Okay, those are the ones that you really want to keep an eye on. If you see anything that's abnormal during the election period, and I'll give you a couple examples, then you know something is up. They're trying to steal some of the races. Here's some of the things you want to look for. I have worked the elections over the last 7 years. I know how they work. I know what's supposed to take place. Every state is different because the state legislators set up the rules governing the election process in their state. That being said, in the state that I'm in right now, ours is from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. We open the doors promptly at 6. We close the doors promptly at 7. A sheriff closes 6. A sheriff closes the doors at 6. No one can come in after 6 p.m. If you didn't make it in time, tough stuff. This state offers free transportation to the voting locations. We have multiple voting locations across the state. I got to say that I'm very proud of the people that run our elections here. They bend over backwards to make them totally safe, to make sure people have a chance to vote. They do everything humanly possible to make it fair, honest, and legitimate, on top of helping people get to the voting locations. Wonderful, wonderful experience. So here, I feel very comfortable with what's going on. Now, that being said, that's the way it's supposed to operate in other states as well. In other words, some states may open at 6 a.m. tomorrow and stay open until 9 p.m. Okay? They may be open for 15 hours instead of 12. Again, they're supposed to close at 9 p.m. sharp. Now, during our time tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we cannot cover the windows with any material. The public has a right to look into those windows, okay, to see what's going on. we cannot close the doors, and we cannot kick out our peers. Point being, in our situation, like tomorrow, we'll have 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats. There has to be 1 for 1 tomorrow. So we'll have a total of 8 people in that voting location. We all worked together to open up the equipment, to set up the booths. We do all that together. All 8 people, 4 Republicans, 4 Democrats, we all signed the documents. We open them up. We log in the tags. We put tags back on everything and log the numbers of those tags as we close up, putting all the documentation in there. We take the scroll off of the electronic machine, and there can be nothing after 6 p.m. That machine prints out the 6 p.m. deadline. We all 8 of us sign that voting strip. The machine prints out. Okay, that goes in the bags with all the other paperwork that everybody signs. And everybody that signs that is saying, hey, this is legitimate. Nobody's messed with this. All the documents are here. We've all signed it. Nothing happened here. Everything went great. This is an honest tally of our activity today at this location. That's what all of that means. Now, we cannot, if we're 4 Republicans, which I am, we cannot kick out the 4 Democrats and tell them to leave. They're going to say, no, by law, we have to be here. You can't tell us to leave. Okay, nobody can do that. Even the police can't tell us to leave. Okay, on top of that, the 4 Democrats cannot tell the 4 Republicans to leave. So if you see that happening tomorrow in any of these states, you know something's up. Nobody can cover the windows. Nobody can lock the doors. Nobody can tell the other side to leave the room. They cannot shut down voting. If our machine, which is electronic, is not connected to the internet at all in any way, shape, or form, if our machine breaks down, people can still vote, and we have an emergency slot that they put their ballots in, and that slot is locked and has a tag on it with numbers. That ballot that goes in that emergency slot cannot be touched in any way, shape, or form by any of us. Okay, so that ballot is safe, even if the machine shuts down. If it quits functioning, we don't stop voting, the voting process. It continues on. The people, instead of putting it in the electronic device that grabs the ballot and reads it and then stores it in the machine, instead of that happening, the people manually put it in that emergency slot, once again, that no one has access to. So we have a very safe process here, even if the machine quits working. So there's no reason for anybody, Republicans or Democrats, to leave that room. Okay, even if we have a malfunctioning machine, everything continues to run smoothly. We've all been working together for a long time. We all know each other. We all get along, despite the fact that we're on opposite sides of the aisle. Everybody gets along. We have a great time. Okay, and we take our jobs very seriously. But the point is it's not about us. I'm giving you this example so you know how it's supposed to operate. If tomorrow you see any of these locations kicking out the other side, putting things to cover up windows, locking doors, stopping the voting process, you know there are shenanigans taking place. And the other side that starts with a D is famous for doing that stuff. They did it in 2020 in Georgia. They did it in Pennsylvania. We have video evidence. We have testimonials, everything. Chuck Grassley today was grilling somebody in the Senate. I forgot who it was now. I think it was Stacey Adams out of Georgia. He was all over her about 2020, and he told her, said, hey, don't tell me that election wasn't stolen. It most certainly was. We have evidence and proof. And just because the courts refused to take it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And they say that all the time. Well, the reason the judges didn't take it is because there was no evidence. No, there was evidence. The judges didn't want to see it because they knew that if they saw it, they couldn't hide or run from that evidence. And they were going to have to make a ruling. And guess what? Their buddies and their lawyer buddies and their politician buddies and their elitist buddies were not going to like the decision they were going to make. Okay? So don't give me that crap about there was no evidence. There certainly was and still is. But those are some of the shenanigans. And just keep in mind as I close this video, These people, the ones that start with the D, have already put out the narrative that if you question the legitimacy of any election, you're an extremist, you are radical, you're an ultra MAGA person, you are un-American. How dare you question the legitimacy and the results of the midterm election? It was all done on the up and up. That is the narrative they started putting out about a week ago. You can go back and watch all kinds of interviews, no matter what media outlet it was, and you'll see this narrative over and over and over. Even in print, online, you'll see them constantly pushing that narrative, trying to get Americans to jump on board that there's going to be this big conspiracy that the election, the midterms were stolen, or some races were stolen, and here are these guys. We told you a week ago these guys were going to come out and start saying this. Well, that's exactly what they have done, is set the table for them to do some of these shenanigans, and then come out and attack people and call them extremists and election deniers and all of this, and really come after them to cover up the fact that they have stolen some races or even the midterms. So that is some of the things that you want to keep an eye out for, and keep this in mind. Once again, you want to keep an eye on Arizona, Pennsylvania, Florida, 3 main ones. The other ones, Nevada, Illinois, Wisconsin, and New Hampshire. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be hotly contested. Those are going to be the ones the other party that starts with a D are concerned about, and I think those are going to be the ones they're really going to go after. So once again, keep an eye out for any type of shenanigan that stops the voting process, that interrupts it, anything that covers up windows, that locks doors, anything at all. If you hear that a water main broke, which is crazy, car ran into a building, whatever, they're going to come up with something that will cause them to have to shut down a location where they can bring in a bunch of illegal ballots. And if they make the other party, and typically it's going to be the Republicans that they're going to try and kick out. If you see that, you know what's going on. Same thing that went on in 2020. And just to let all you Republicans that were working the polls, guys, you don't have to leave. They can't force you to leave. You have done nothing illegal. It's your obligation. It's your oath. We all take an oath as poll workers, okay? And we swear to the Constitution of the state. We are sworn officers of the state, okay? And they cannot make you leave. They cannot lock you up. So you have every right. Turn your phone on and record it. If they do that, start recording. A bunch of you, not just one of you, 5, 6, 7 of you, start recording and tell them, I'm not leaving. I've done nothing wrong. I'm an elected official. I am working for the state. You cannot force me to leave, okay? You have every right to stay there. You cannot leave that location, all right? So with that being said, and if they do force you out, if they make the police come and they say, they say, hey, we're going to arrest you if you don't leave, then guess what? Get on and call right away. Call a news outlet. Call the local sheriffs. Call anybody and everybody that you can, and don't stop. Call everybody you can. Steve Bannon, the Trumps, everybody. Mike Lindell, you can call all those people and news outlets as well, and just let them know what's going on, okay? And have video evidence of it, and even hit the audio record button and record the conversations, okay? And do not let them push you out of that location. We certainly won't here, but we're not going to have that problem. We don't have that here, and we're not going to have that tomorrow. But I know in other states, the D party will do anything to win those states. All right, guys, I have more videos coming in the very near future. I'm going to talk about the tactics that the left do and all the connections between some of these elite people and other countries, and how they are working with these other countries to undermine our country and to take our country from us in many different ways. I'm going to talk about those in the very near future, and I'll have those videos out very shortly. So share this video, get it out tomorrow, and look forward to my other videos that are coming soon. Take care. God bless. Love you all. And stay strong. Let's win this country back, guys, starting tomorrow. Take care.